Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about the new Pokemon that will be available to use in the Regulation D rule set that starts on July 1st. I'll also talk about how those new Pokemon may affect some of the common Pokemon that we see now in Regulation C. So, if you didn't know, Regulation D is the new rule set that will start on July 1st. There will be no official major tournaments affected by this rule set except for Worlds. So, we probably won't see a lot of chance to see the meta develop over the 3 months that this rule set will be in place. But I think it'll be definitely interesting to see how Worlds works in a format where we have had no other big major official tournaments. So the rules are that all the Pokemon available in Regulation C are still usable, but what's added is the non-restricted Pokemon from the new home update. So now you can transfer Pokemon from other games into Scarlet and Violet through Pokemon Home. These Pokemon are not available, they're not obtainable in Scarlet and Violet outside of trading with somebody else. You have to obtain them in a different game and then transfer them into Scarlet and Violet through Home. So I've got a list here of all of the new Pokemon that we have available to us. Now, I won't talk about every single one of these probably, but we'll talk about the big ones that I think will have an impact on the meta. So first up, obviously, Charizard, right? Here's the thing though, I don't think Charizard gets as much of a boost from the terrestrialization mechanic as it did from past mechanics like Mega Charizard or G-Max Charizard. I still think Charizard will be pretty good, especially because terrestrialization allows it to pivot away from that 4 times weakness to rock. Torkoal is always a good sun setter. Sun teams will be good, so I don't think that Charizard would be bad necessarily, especially if you maybe sit it next to Great Tusk, let Great Tusk shoot out some earthquakes. Charizard can be a flying type and be immune to the earthquakes. You can definitely take advantage of that solar power damage. So next up, Alolan Raichu. I actually think Alolan Raichu will be less good than it was in Generation 8 just because we don't have access to the Tapus right now. There's no good electric terrain setter for it to make use of for its Surge Surfer form here, so I don't think that Alolan Raichu is going to get much play because without Surge Surfer, it's just not that good, frankly. And who's going to run Pincurchin to get electric terrain? Nobody. Alolan Dugtrio, Alolan Persian, Galarian, Berserker, Meowth thing, they're not that good. I don't think they're going to get much usage. Galarian Slowbro might see a very small amount of usage. It did in Generation 8, but it certainly was not like the best Pokemon in the world. I mean, yes, Regenerator is a good ability, but it doesn't have the oomph to really back that up. It doesn't have the same utility that Amoonguss does to really take advantage of that Regenerator, so I just think it's not going to be it'll have some usage but not a lot. Hisuian Arcanine. Now this is interesting. This is a Pokemon we haven't seen in VGC yet. I mean, it does still have Intimidate like regular Arcanine does. I don't know, it is 4 times weak to ground, but terrestrialization makes that less of a problem. I mean, its abilities are nice, nothing to write home about. I mean, Alolan Muck, I think maybe it'll be okay. Again, it's not great. Its abilities are like, you know? Its abilities are like, Its stats are like, Its move pool is like, I just don't think it's great, honestly. Maybe it might see some usage, but I don't think it'll see a lot. Same thing. Nobody's going to use Taurus. Nobody's going to use Kanto Taurus with Paldean Taurus available. I mean, fucking Electrode. Electrode's not good, even if it's Hisuian. You know, its ability is, like, not that great. It's the only thing it has going for it is this insane speed stat, but, like, what is it going to do with that speed stat? Nothing, especially because that speed stat is a lot less insane with Regieleki also available. Why would I pick Electrode when I could pick Regieleki? I'm not going to. Articuno sucks. Galarian Articuno is not much better. Zapdos gets, some usage. Zapdos will likely see usage, especially with the genies. A lot more flying types are going to be running around. I think Zapdos could be good. We might see more rain teams crop up to take advantage of Zapdos, but it's not like we're getting access to Kyogre or Politoed. We still have to rely on Pelipper to set our rain, unless we're going to do like a manual rain dance. So again, I think Zapdos will see usage. I don't expect it to be a top 10. Moltres sucks. Galarian Zapdos isn't that good. Galarian Moltres in Gen 8 was very good, but it got a lot of its goodness from the fact that it could Dynamax and immediately double its bulk. That's not really possible here in Gen 9, so I'm interested to see what happens with Galarian Moltres. I think it could be good. Berserk is still like a fantastic ability, especially because you could take a hit that brings you below half and then Terra like the next turn in a defensive way to live another turn and do some damage. So I think the Galarian Moltres could still be good. I'm interested to see how it does. I think, again, you could do some weakness policy shenanigans probably. It could be good. I'm interested. It's, a bulky, very strong Pokemon. It has access to Nasty Plot on top of Berserk, so it could get a lot of boosts very quickly. Now, we've got Hisuian and regular Typhlosion. Typhlosion was actually available in the game earlier in a exclusive timed raid battle. Here's the thing about Typhlosion. I don't think Hisuian Typhlosion is very good. I'm going to be real with you. I think the addition of the ghost typing just adds a bunch of weaknesses. It doesn't give it any resistances, really. Yes, it gives you an immunity to normal and fighting, but it was a fire type. It's not weak to that anyway. And the Hisuian abilities are just they're not that good, frankly. I think Flash Fire is a much better ability than Frisk is. So if we're looking at Typhlosion here, I think Typhlosion could be good. It's fairly fast. 100 base speed is good. Its special attack is pretty high. Its bulk is like medium. It's not like a super glass cannon, but it's also not super bulky. Now, Hisuian Typhlosion is slightly slower, slightly stronger, same kind of medium bulk here. I think that Typhlosion might be helpful if you love to do Eruption with Torkoal, but Torkoal's too slow for you. So, reminder that Typhlosion does have access to Eruption, but it's 100 base speed. So you could pair it with maybe a Murkrow to set up the sun instead of having to use Torkoal. And then just like boom, 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 Eruption. Give it a Choice Scarf, put it in the sun, Eruption. Love it. Of course, you'd have to watch out for Palafin there. That Priority Jet Punch could lower the HP, thereby lowering the damage that Eruption does. But I think that Typhlosion is basically going to be Torkoal, Eruption Machine, but faster and doesn't set up its own sun. So there's the trade-off of it doesn't set up its own sun, but the benefit of it's faster. You don't have to get it in Trick Room, and you don't have to pair it with Lilligant. Quagsire, nobody cares about Quagsire. Slowking, same thing. Galarian Slowking had some usage in Gen 8, even less than Galarian Slowbro did. I don't expect this to really do much. These kind of all suck. Heatran and Cresselia. Heatran, I think, could be good because it could be like a Cerulege kind of figure. It is 4 times weak to ground, but then you Terra Grass and you have the Flash Fire ability. So then you're only weak to what? Ice and Flying. I think Cresselia also could do better in Gen 9 than it did in Gen 8 because it has the option for a defensive Terra type if necessary. It has Levitate, and it doesn't have to worry about taking so many of those like super strong hits like it did in the Dynamax era. I think with not having Dynamax Pokemon, it'll stay on the field longer. It can make better use of its utility moves like Moonlight, Ally Switch. Although remember that Ally Switch has been nerfed. Now you can't just use it over and over again. It will fail the same way Protect does if you use it multiple times. But I think that, I think it's got a lot of great utility here. It also has the move Lunar Blessing, which is new, I think. Has 101 accuracy, and not only restores HP for itself, but also its ally Pokemon, and heals status conditions. I think we may see a lot of Cresselias on physically oriented teams wanting to avoid burns. We've got Samurott, Hisuian, Samurott. I don't know. Like, I don't really care about these. Does anybody care about Samurott? Like, for real? I mean, it's got sharpness. What kind of slicing moves does it have, though? Like, I don't even know what's a slicing move. What of these is slicing moves? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that good. Call me crazy. Prove me wrong. I don't care that much about Samurott. Now, Lilligant, I also don't think will be that good. Hisuian Lilligant here. But I love and adore Lilligant, so I am going to try to make it good and make it work on at least one team. We'll see. I don't think it'll do well, but it does still have Chlorophyll, which is by far its best ability. It also has, it's also, interestingly, a physical attacker. It's got good speed. It's faster than regular Lilligant even. It's got really good speed, really good attack. Its bulk is not really there. It's not bulky at all. It'll need some support to stay alive. But it has this move, Victory Dance. So this is basically like the physical version of Quiver Dance. It'll raise its physical attack and its speed stats. With Chlorophyll, that's less of an issue. Obviously it's more about raising the attack stats in that case. But you could pair Victory Dance. Obviously, you could still do like some after you shenanigans, right? But you could do Victory Dance instead and make Lilligant more of the damage dealer, right? You've got access to Leaf Blade, which gives you a chance for more crits. You still have access to Sleep Powder if you want to do all the same things regular Lilligant does. You know, you can after you can Sleep Powder, you can Helping Hand. You've got this move, Axe Kick, which is basically like a high jump kick. It's got chance to miss, and if you miss, you take damage. You could run Facade if you're worried about being burned. That way you're still doing damage. I mean, Brick Break for screens. I mean, there's a lot of things that Hisuian Lilligant can do here. I mean, you've even got like Poison Jab for Flutter Mane. You've got Swords Dance. If you'd rather run Swords Dance than Victory Dance, that might honestly work better. You could even set up a substitute to help you live a little bit longer. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas for what I want to do with Hisuian Lilligant, and I might keep some of them to myself. They might be a little bit of a surprise once we can play Regulation D on Showdown, but I'm warning you now. I don't think that Hisuian Lilligant will be good. All of this talking I've been doing about Hisuian Lilligant is because I personally love Lilligant, okay? I think it'll be a middle tier Pokemon at best in Regulation D. So keep that in mind as I'm listing all these things that I love about Lilligant, okay? And then, of course, we've got Hisuian Zoroark. Everyone knows this is the type combination that Wolfie claimed would be the best possible type combination, normal and ghost. However, if we look at Hisuian Zoroark, I mean, it's fast, it's strong, it's a special attacker, so you don't have to worry about Intimidate so much. It could even be a physical attacker if you wanted to run Mix. It's incredibly frail. You're gonna have to run a Focus Sash on it. I'm not convinced. You know, that's what I've got. I'm not convinced that it's gonna be good. I'm not convinced. It does have access to Nasty Blot, which could be good. I mean, you know, Shadow Ball, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Somebody convince me that Hisuian Zoroark is gonna be good, because I mean, the move pool is large, right? It could do a lot of things, but maybe that's like the problem. Now, this is pretty good. A 75 base power move that also lowers attack. That could be good. That I can get on board with, you know. Nasty Plot plus Bitter Malice. I could do that. I could get on board with that. I mean, a fast taunt is always good. I don't know. Somebody convince me, please. And then, of course, we've got Hisuian Braviary too. I don't know. Braviary doesn't get much play. I don't expect this Hisuian form to be much better, especially because its moves are like kind of eh. You know, it doesn't have access to Defiant, which is what everybody ran on other Unova Bravery. I just don't see Hisuian Braviary being particularly great. I mean, its speed is poor, its special attack is high, but its bulk is really not high enough to justify its low speed, in my opinion. And I don't think it's gonna be that good. Now, we have to talk about the genies, okay? They all got new moves, okay? They got new moves, and they're the fucking genies. So they have, you know, their same abilities here. Obviously, everyone's going to run Prankster Tornadus now that we have access to Prankster Tailwind in a form that's not Murkrow. Everybody get ready for Murkrow to suck and Tornadus to be good, okay? It can set up Tailwind. It can set up its... Does it still have Rain Dance? It can set up its own rain. Yeah, everybody get ready for Tornadus to be everywhere and Murkrow to be nowhere. But the new... move is different for each genie, and it's 80 accuracy, 100 base power, but also has the ability to have a 20% chance of a secondary effect. So for Tornadus, it's lowering the speed stat. Also keep in mind that Tornadus can set up its own rain, and this 80 base power move is now 100% accurate in the rain. So... Tornadus is going to be everywhere. Get fucking ready for Tornadus, okay? That's all I got to say. Same thing here with Thundurus, okay? Thundurus has its same abilities. People are just going to be running Defiant. Maybe Prankster if they want to use it as support instead of Tornadus, but we're probably going to see a lot of Defiant. The only thing I have that's a good thing about Tornadus is it still doesn't really have access to a good flying type move, and its electric type move here is still like its special signature electric type move is a special attack, which means you'd have to run the Therian form if you wanted to use it. Really, you're not going to use Defiant with it. I mean, you could use the regular form, actually. What am I saying? 125 is still nothing to sneeze at, even if it's not 145. But there's really, I mean, yes, you could Terra Flying, Terra Blast, but there's still really not good access to flying type moves. You've got Fly, which is way less good in the non-Dynamax era, where it takes 2 turns. And aside from that, what, Acrobatics? So you would have to run some kind of Berry or Weakness Policy or something consumable. That's it. Those are your options for flying type moves. So that's the one plus we have for the genies is flying type moves are not good still. Obviously, Landorus T. I'm not going to say shit about Landorus T. We all know about Landorus T, okay? And soon, it won't be 4 times weak to ice because you could just, like, Terra Steel it or something, you know? So, fuck Landorus T. That's going to be everywhere. Have fun. Oh, I mean, the Gen 5 stars, I don't think they're going to be that great. I think maybe the best one would be Greninja, but they nerfed the Protean ability. So, I don't think it's going to be that good. It'll only work, they nerfed the Protean ability, so it only works once now instead of every time. Yeah, I think it's eh. Hisuian Gudra could be cool. The typing's cool. The problem with Hisuian Gudra is... I mean, its stats are not great. Like, it's got this fantastic bulk, right? It's got great bulk. But its special attack is good. Its speed is bad. I don't know. It could stick around. It could be a support Pokemon, maybe. You give it, like, Life Dew and, like, Acid Armor. And maybe you make something, like, really bulky and stally, and it's fine. It's not my playstyle. I prefer... a much faster, more hyper-offensive playstyle, and the move pool is not really giving me that. That's all I gotta say. The move pool is not giving me fun hyper-offense. It's giving me much slower, more stally play style, and if that's your play style, fine. It's medium, okay? It's medium. That's what I got. It's medium. That's what I'm feeling, medium. Okay, and then there's a bunch of Avalug, who cares, okay? Decidueye, again, I think it'll be fine, maybe, but why would you pick it over Rillaboom, you know? Yes, Rillaboom does not have access to Grassy Glide anymore, okay? They got rid of Grassy Glide. It still has Grassy Surge, so it'll be better than Arboliva in terms of setting up Grassy Train, but Grassy Glide does not exist, okay? It does not have Grassy Glide anymore, which is great for Palafin, okay? I mean, yes, it still has to worry about, you know, Woodhammer or Woodhammer from a very strong Rillaboom. I mean, it's still Rillaboom, right? Its stats are great. Actually, its stats are, like, not that good, frankly. It's the Grassy Seed that makes Rillaboom bulky. Grassy Seed plus Assault Vest. That's what makes Rillaboom bulky, because its stats are not fantastic, and without Grassy Glide, it will be significantly less popular than it was before. That's all I have to say. Same thing. They nerfed Libero, I assume, if it works the way Protean does, so it only works once. I think that means that Cinderace will be less good than it was in Gen 8. Inteleon was never that good. We talked about Berserker. Fucking Urshifu, okay? Let's talk about Urshifu. Just a quick reminder about Urshifu. Its ability, Unseen Fist, means that if your move is a contact move, which basically every move that Urshifu runs is a contact move, you can't protect, okay? It breaks through protect and it hits you anyway. And we no longer have access to Dynamax. The way it worked in Generation 8 was it would break through protect if you were both undynamaxed or you were both Dynamaxed. But if Urshifu was not Dynamaxed and you were Dynamaxed, you could still max guard and Urshifu would not break through it. Now, we don't have access to max guard anymore. You can't protect in front of an Urshifu. And now that we have access to Terastallization, you don't even have to worry about Urshifu's Single Strike being 4 times weak to Fairy, because you can just Terra Steel and erase that weakness. Everybody, just... if you pray to a god, pray to that god. I don't know how we're gonna deal with Urshifu. Because here's the other thing, right? Its special move always lands a crit. So you can't intimidate it, and you can't burn it. You can't reduce its damage in any way at all, because it's going to crit through that. How do we deal with Urshifu? What are we going to do? I don't know, and I need help. So y'all, let me know in the comments. How are you planning to deal with Urshifu? What are you going to do? Can you help me? I'm scared. Obviously, we also have Regieleki, the Scourge of Gen 8. I think it will still see strong usage here in Gen 9 as well. But here's the thing. Iron Bundle outspeeds Regieleki with the booster energy. And we didn't see a ton of Iron Bundle using Icy Wind in past formats. So I don't know how much we're going to see Regieleki's running Electro Web here in Gen 9. I mean, probably we will see some, because we won't have to use an item to get this speed. You could still run just Focus Sash Eleki, Electro Web, plus like Thunderbolt and Terra Electric, and probably do like really good damage. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as everyone's scared it's going to be. I think Regieleki will not have the same overwhelming effect on the meta as Urshifu will. Glacier and Spectre, I don't think their usage will change much from what we saw in Generation 8, honestly. Spectre will be a little less probably, because you have Fluttermane to contend with that does what Spectre does with the Shadow Balls, just better. But Glacier doesn't really have like a competitor in Gen 9, so I think Glacier will still have the same usage. However, you won't be able to Weakness Policy plus Dynamax it to gain bulk, so it'll be easier to deal with. So maybe that'll lower its usage just a little bit. Weirder and Cleaver, they're gonna suck. Nobody cares about them. Ursaluna. Okay. Ursaluna is gonna be a monster too, okay? Get ready for this shit. Again, you're not going to be able to burn it because it's going to run Flame Orb Guts. Guts is an ability that will increase its attack by 50% when it's hit with a status. So people will run the item Flame Orb, which will burn Ursaluna after turn 1, and that burn will not lower the attack. Instead, it will increase its attack by 50%. Now, you see it's a normal type Pokemon. It's a normal type Pokemon, which means that it gets Stab Facade. It also has access to Headlong Rush, and it is a ground type. So what I'd expect to see on a moveset for Ursaluna, Protect, Headlong Rush, Facade, and maybe one other move, perhaps Drain Punch. Does it get Drain Punch? Drain Punch, okay. I'd probably see like Protect, Headlong Rush, Facade, and Drain Punch, and the item as Flame Orb. That's what I would expect to see on Ursaluna, and I expect it to do a lot of fucking damage. The benefit that we have here is that it's not like crazy bulky. Its HP is very high, but its special defense is only medium. And its defense is good, but not like fantastic. Its speed is very low, so it's gonna work best on Trick Room teams. But I think because of the bulk, it could work well outside of Trick Room teams as well. Now, look at this attack stat. Okay, 140 base attack. Add 50% once you've been burned, so now it's, 210 attack. Facade is a 140 base power move after you've been burned. Let me find it. Here we go. Facade is 70 base power, but after you've been burned, it's 140 base power with a 210 attack stat. Ursaluna's going to kill a lot of things. Also, keep in mind it's Stab, so it'll be doing 50% more damage. And if you Terra Normal, it'll be doing 2 times more damage on top of all those other multipliers. So, what are we going to do with Ursaluna? Cycle Intimidates, have ghost types that can't be affected by Facade. That's all I can think of. Y'all, help me with Ursaluna too. I need help with Urshifu and Ursaluna, I think. I don't know what to do. What are we gonna do here? Let's see. Basculegion, it's like, I don't think Basculegion is gonna be that. Yes, it's got Swift Swim, so that's cool. It'll probably replace Dreadnought, honestly, on the team that I've been using recently. Although its attack is worse. Maybe it won't replace Dreadnought. I mean, it's just like, It's I don't think Basculegion's gonna be great. Overquill gets Intimidate, so that's kind of interesting, I mean, the move pool, the typing's not great, Dark and Poison, and the move pool is like, Bar Barrage is maybe cool, It's just, I don't know, it's like set up for Poison, but Poison isn't like a huge thing in VGC. I mean, I know we've seen Glamora, but I don't know. And its stats are pretty garbo too, so I don't think Overquill is going to do great. Enamorus, probably, it's a genie. It's probably going to be as good as other genies. What does Enamorus do? I don't even have an Enamorus. I'm going to have to go play Legends Arceus for the first time in like a year, plus more than a year, and go catch this fucking genie. It doesn't even have, look, its abilities are like not great. I mean, Overcoat is okay, actually. Overcoat's pretty solid. I'll give you Overcoat. Contrary could be cool. This Contrary works on moves you use, though, too, right? Okay, let's look at the stats. So the Therian form, they're both, like, special attackers, but you could run... Oh, the Therian form is like a Trick Room. Come on. Alright, you could run physical attack if you wanted, but they're more special attack-oriented, it looks like. Yeah, what I'm seeing here is you could run like a superpower Contrary set if you wanted. I don't know, maybe I'll use an Amorous, but that would require going to catch one, so I probably won't just because I can't be fucking bothered. On top of all the other Pokemon I have to bring into Scarlet Violet, I don't want to go catch another one. But that will be it. I mean, Gimme Ghoul, whatever, that's just the roaming form. That'll be it for the list of Pokemon that are going to be newly available in Regulation D. Let me know in the comments down below, do you disagree with any of my predictions? Obviously, sometimes I'm wrong. I did think that Great Tusk was going to be kind of bad, and it turned out to be like one of the best Paradox Mons. So I'll admit it, I am frequently wrong. Are there any that you agree with? What do you think? Are there any Pokemon that you're particularly excited to use, like me with Hisui and Lilligant? Let me know down in the comments below. I always want to talk to y'all about Pokemon. And as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more like it. I will see y'all later.